The Sims 3 Generations is thought to be one of the best packs for The Sims ever. Since we received the Parenthood pack for The Sims 4, I think we can all categorically say that that ship has sailed and we are never getting a Generations pack for The Sims 4 because of course The Sims 4 could never. But what we do seem to be getting is hints that we are getting a new high school pack. Well, not hints, it is basically confirmed. That's right, the Sims team accidentally leaked another pack for The Sims 4 as they always do. This one is an expansion pack which we haven't had for ages and it is called High School. The last time we had an expansion pack was Cottage Living, which was released in June 2021. For the Sims team to take so long to release another expansion pack, you'd hope that they've spent a lot of time perfecting this, making sure it's perfect. But the thing is, do we really need a high school pack at this stage? I know a lot of Simmers really want to visit a high school in live mode / live mode. It has been a requested thing ever since The Sims 2 really, but I think it's important to consider a few things. Firstly, we already have Discover University. Although this is for a totally different life stage, it's basically the same thing, especially seeming that high school is supposed to be an expansion pack's worth of content. If we already have an expansion pack's worth of educational content in the form of Discover University, I don't know if high school can really fill the boots of an entire expansion pack again based on almost the exact same theme. Which leads on to my next point, which is that it's basically a rip-off in my opinion. Before it's even been released, that's right, I am being judgmental today. Let's face it, anything that comes out of EA is pretty much a rip-off, especially The Sims and its countless amounts of DLC. But I think it's important to take a look at The Sims 3 Generations pack as it had a lot of content and set really high expectations. For just high schools alone, this pack had after-school classes, school clubs on different days, field trips, tree houses, playground equipment, a mood swing system for teens, which is basically like puberty, learning to drive, again, The Sims 4 could never, partying whilst the parents were away, prom, graduation. And that's only features for kids and teens, as the Generations pack came with stuff for every single generation. The Sims 4 High School, on the other hand, is just teens. Sure, maybe we can follow them going to class, but what depth will that actually bring to the game? Will we be able to have live classes? And yeah, that's great. We already have a similar thing with active careers, and I think if they do introduce high schools as a live thing, it will probably be very similar to active careers in The Sims 4. But I honestly just don't see how that substantiates an entire expansion pack. To put it into more perspective, The Sims 3 Generations is basically The Sims 4 Kids Room stuff, toddler stuff, My Wedding Stories, Parenthood, and the soon-to-be new high school pack all combined. Even Get Together is a pack about clubs and activities, which is a major feature of Generations. I find it interesting how Maxis have spread so many Sims 4 ideas out into different packs, and what they will actually do to substantiate high school being an entirely new pack of its own with enough features to substantiate being an expansion pack. At first glance, of course, we all want an active high school system like the active careers, and we want proms, and we want graduation ceremonies. And when I say we, what I actually mean is American people. I mean, it's still a really fun gameplay idea. I can roll with it for sure. We just don't do proms. We do proms in the UK, but it's not the same. We don't do graduation ceremonies. It's a very culturally different thing. I don't get it, but I do like it in The Sims. I think it's a fun idea. But I think in order to really justify it being a full expansion pack, I really want an updated social system for teens. We all know socializing in The Sims 4 is much less advanced than it is in previous games, even in The Sims 2. The Sims 2 had more social complexity than The Sims 4. So to give this an overhaul, especially for teens, is a must. Because teens in real life are always forming social groups. They've always got the popular kids and the geeky kids, and they're all bullying each other, and they're all getting bullied, and they're super shy and super confident kids. There's always so much diversity. I honestly think like schools are like zoos, just like how there's a pack of lions with like hierarchies and things. Humans are literally the same when it comes to schools. We are all like zoo animals in school. And apart from the education itself in a high school pack, I really think there needs to be a massive emphasis on socializing. But in terms of education, of course, I do think it needs an overhaul. Right now, kids just have like one overall grade from school. They don't excel in different areas. It's all just very generic. I don't know how education works in other countries really, but in the UK, in our equivalent of high school, we have compulsory subjects and elected subjects. Compulsory being things you must study like maths, science, English. And then we have elected subjects like languages, history, geography. You have to choose out of a selection. And then how well you do in those certain subjects determines your likelihood of getting into certain courses courses in university. I think the high school pack must have a more detailed approach to studying certain subjects. I also think skills should be involved in studying different subjects, and your different levels determine what kind of career your Sims go into, or whether they're more or less likely to go into university in different areas with cross-pack compatibility. It's just, I know The Sims 4 is terrible at consequences. It's terrible at cross-pack compatibility. I'm just really worried that they're going to go about this a totally wrong way, especially seeming that The Sims 4 is not an ambitious game. But if it was a more ambitious game, I'd also like to hope that this would include a hobbies part of the high school pack. We all know a big part of school is hobbies and interests, clubs and activities, going to a sports club after school every Wednesday, etc. One of the most interesting packs that we got for The Sims 2 was free time. The most similar in The Sims 3, I think, is maybe Showtime. It's basically a hobbies and interest pack. We even had a hobbies and interest system in The Sims 1, by the way, so I think it's really bizarre that we don't actually have it for The Sims 4 yet. A high school pack would be a great way to introduce hobbies and interests, starting in the form of after-school activities, having things that have been missing from The Sims 4 that exists in previous games like ballet and stuff, other kinds of dancing, being able to play musical instruments. I know having bands is something that people have requested for a long time in The Sims 4, but again, The Sims 4 is not really ambitious enough to have this many systems in one pack. But seeing that a high school gameplay system would be so small and isolated, I want there to be that depth, but I just know The Sims 4 is not good at giving us depth. It's just good at giving us, I've said this before, The Sims 4 is basically an NFT. It's a nice, shiny, expensive object that looks pretty, but it adds no value to your life. And can we just address the fact that high school is something for teens only? Simmers have complained for so long there is no gameplay for kids. We're literally not getting any new gameplay for kids with the teen pack because it is for teens. And teens in The Sims 4 literally look exactly the same as adult Sims. They act the same as adult Sims. They're probably coded in basically the same way. So we're only getting a very small, isolated bit of gameplay for one small life stage. Like, next year, are we going to be getting a preschool pack? And what is preschool? I'm trying to say this in American terms so that like the world can understand me. In the UK, well, in my little conservative posh British town, we call it nursery school, then reception, then we call it infantry school, then junior school, then secondary school, and then sixth form, and then university. But I think that's a conservative Tory thing because of my little town. But anyway, what I'm saying is, are we going to get a different pack for each life stage? Like, why are we spreading it out? Guys, stop it, Sims team. Just give it us all in one. We know you can do it because you did it with The Sims 3. Obviously, we can't judge because it hasn't been released yet, but in terms of my initial expectations, they are not high, especially based on the history of the most recent packs released for The Sims 4. They are very low in standards, therefore I have low expectations. What do you think of this pack? Let me know down below. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.